Welcome to In Your Element podcast, where we dive into stories of those thriving in their element. From entrepreneurs, influencers, to chefs, musicians, and the community leaders, we explore their journeys, struggles, and successes. I'm Randall Pink with Natalie Kaufman, and today we're bringing you another incredible conversation with Dan Neyer from Neyer Properties.
Back up in my yellow. I get my grind on and my mind strong, I'm working. I clock in when the night's long, so much time gone, but it's worth it. I'm locked in, keep the lights on, got my mind on my purpose. It's working, I flourish, I earned it. Can't tell me I don't deserve it, yeah.
Today's episode is sponsored by Torque Motor Suites, a luxury motor suites community for enthusiasts and collectors.
Hey everyone, welcome back to In Your Element podcast. We are here in Madison Square, located inside Element Eatery. I'm Natalie Kaufman.
I'm Randall Pink, and today we have the pleasure of sitting down with
Dan Neyer of Neyer Properties.
Welcome, sir. I do want to point out that Torque is one of our sponsorships, so we are pleased to be one of your guys' partners as well.
Thank you.
So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about what you do and who you're all about?
Sure. I have a company I started in 1995 called Neyer Properties. We are in the real estate investment and development business, based in Cincinnati, but also do work in other communities such as Indianapolis, Columbus, Chicago, Nashville, Asheville, Birmingham, Alabama, and so forth. So
how did you... I see your signs everywhere when I'm driving around. At least I feel like I'm driving around. I see you in the Neyer Property sign. How did you guys get started in the real estate and development and investments?
Well, I worked for a family company at the time. It was started by my grandfather. It was Al Neyer Incorporated. So I started there right after I graduated from Miami University in 1981. So there I was involved with overseeing land development and design, build, construction throughout this region.
Nice. And so you kind of grew up with...
Right. It's been in my blood since I think a very young age. Maybe, effectively less than 3 years old, if I remember.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Going to construction sites and so forth.
So you kind of built up a passion for what you do now?
Right. And I can remember even when I was 5 or 6 years old, driving down, well, it was before I-71 was in place at the time, but going down some of the major arteries, I-75 and so forth, and asking my dad at the time, why is that here? Why does it, especially 75, why does it smell so funny? And all those things. So it's just, I've always had the curiosity at a very young age.
That's awesome. So I know you mentioned you now have multiple locations. You said one was Alabama. What were the other ones?
Well, we have sites and developments in Indianapolis, Columbus, Cincinnati, Chicago, Nashville, Asheville. Some of those are related to one of our businesses that were grown out of our parent business that involves Torque Motor Suites.
Yeah, let's talk about Torque for a minute. Will you explain what that is? I mean, I feel like a lot of people definitely around this area have heard of it, but can you give a little bit more detail about Torque?
Sure. Yeah, Torque Motor Suites kind of came to me kind of an epiphany when I was in Florida a couple years ago and trying to think, what do people need and what do people want? And that was, if you think about it, when we were just getting out of COVID, people weren't connecting because they had to be in isolation and they had no place to go. And what I also noticed over the last 10 years, the trend for the home building industry, partially because everybody wants it, they want a smaller yard, bigger house, which meant your garage space, you could never do more than a 2-car garage with the concept they were doing. So, and as we age at any age, growing up and so forth, you don't want to get rid of your toys and fun things. You may want to get rid of the yard and the maintenance and the headache associated with that, but you want to be more active, and you want to be with people and connect with people that are like-minded to yourself. So that's kind of the concept of really Torque Motor Suites. So it is a community gathering place where like-minded people can talk about their love of cars and their sporting activities and have a place to go. That's in a very safe and secure location outside of the normal public, but with people that they know or get to know that have common interest.
That's exciting. You're literally building a community, and a different type of community, I feel like.
Absolutely.
One that hasn't been, like you said, hasn't really been catered to. I feel like when people have these nice toys, they're either keeping their prized possessions off-site in a warehouse somewhere or in their personal garage. But where they, other than car meetups, where can they actually like go and intertwine with one another and sit down, have a cup of coffee? I feel like what you're building is essentially like some cool man caves, if you will.
Well, it's certainly can be regarded as a man cave, but it's not just man caves. There's a lot of females, and frankly, females, if in order to have a man cave, the female in the house generally has to acknowledge or approve.
That's so true.
Yes.
But it started out with being very car centric, which still is the focus. The people that love cars and other outdoor activities. And we have two projects in Cincinnati that are under construction. One is in Blue Ash, right across from Summit Park, where the new Mantry was put in place. And then one in our Oakley development called Three Oaks, where we just concluded Homerama. We're the master developer of that development, which includes 89 single-family lots, 30 Torque Suite units,
Wow.
390 what I would call lifestyle apartments, and then an additional 200 senior active, about plus 55 apartment rental products. So we haven't started either the apartments, which will start at the end of this year, or the senior active facility, but we are full tilt all in for the single family home and then the Torque Motor Suites.
That's exciting.
That's amazing. So you started Torque in 2020?
No, it was really kind of 23.
23. Okay.
It started as an idea, a concept, right? And then we thought through where are the best locations, starting with the area we know, and then expanding from there.
Where is your dream location for one of your locations to be at?
If you could pick anywhere.
If you had to pick anywhere.
It's there are so many dream locations because the opportunity is such that it's a product that a lot of people don't even know exists. When you talked earlier about people having cars in an old warehouse, where a lot of people in Cincinnati, they might have a car in a certain part of town that they don't want to tell people where it is because it may not be in the best part of town, and they don't want to acknowledge that. So that's why we picked, again, Blue Ash is a central location because it's right across from Summit Park, adjacent to the high-level households of Indian Hill and Montgomery and even Glendale and so forth. And Oakley, being Three Oaks, is right next to part of Oakley and Hyde Park, and even the kind of the south part of Indian Hill. We're seeing a lot of activity come forward. So as far as dream location, that there are so many opportunities. I dream a lot, and I think the many locations can fulfill many people's dreams.
Yeah, that's a well said answer right there. When is one of your guys' Torque project, Torque Motor Suites project, going to be complete or line to complete?
Well, in Three Oaks, Oakley, we had 3 units open during Homerama. The project will be completed by Thanksgiving. We have there's 30 units there. We have pre-sold, if you will, 14 units. And in Blue Ash, we are under construction there. It's going to be finished first part of next year. We actually now have 22 of the 30 units pre-sold.
Congratulations on that.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah.
How many team members do you have at each like what does that look like?
Well, we're in the development business, so we oversee all the design and oversee the construction. So when you say team members, we really hire a general contractor, hire the architect, and hire the engineers. And we usually have a person that's hired to do a lot of the marketing, social media, and other things, and drum up the business. And we try to go to a lot of events like Cars and Coffee. In fact, we're going to be this coming Saturday at a place in Blue Ash called Caracas in Blue Ash, and they were having
This Saturday, you said?
this Saturday.
Yeah,
and
fun.
they have an open house, one in the spring, one in the fall, where they bring about probably 100 to 150 cars that show up, all makes and models, from Pugani down to a 56 Chev, if you will. And again, it's a great gathering place, and that is literally about a quarter mile from where we're building our location. So
I think what you're building is incredible. Just having people all come together that have the same interests, and they can all talk about it. And I think that's great. So congratulations on all of your accomplishments.
Thank you.
So your dad had a company that was somewhat similar to what you're doing?
Well, it was really rooted in the construction business, and it was a family business. So it was after my grandfather was my dad and his 2 brothers. And then I was part of the next generation. When I was there, I think there were, I had father, 2 uncles, brother, sister, and 4 cousins. So it was definitely a family business.
Yeah. So growing up, did you see your dad's and your grandpa's successes and like struggles that they've came across?
Sure, absolutely. We, in any business there are challenges and struggles, and they were able to persevere through those times that were difficult and make a business long term for their family.
And then, do you think that seeing all that and then the direction that you ended up going with your company, did you use some of that insight of those challenges and how they pivoted and how they changed their sense of direction to overcome those challenges?
Well, I saw that the construction industry had challenges by the nature of what I would call high risk and low return. I prefer, I don't mind risk at all, but I prefer higher returns. And also, development properly done, you give the opportunity to be transformational for your community and actually add to the longevity and the vitality of the area. And that's why you'll see Neyer Properties flag, if you will, have a lot of developments on the major arteries, 71 and 75. So the value of many communities and the perception, especially from people outside the area, is what is the real estate? The first thing you see in any town is the real estate, the skyline and up and down the major arteries. So the perception, positive perception, is a great indicator of the success of an area.
That's got to be kind of cool with you driving. You mentioned earlier driving down 75 as a kid when you were a kid with your father. And nowadays, when you're driving around the city and you see all the Neyer properties that you've completed, that's gotta make you feel pretty good as far as, like you said, having a positive outlook on the communities itself that you're building.
Sure, and people say, well, I'm now 66 years old, and people say, why don't you retire? I'm like, why would I retire from what I love to do?
Oh, that's awesome. I was just about to ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 to 7 years?
Probably focused still on real estate, and now part of it is making sure that you transfer the knowledge and the ability to do projects to many other people within our organization, and frankly within the overall community.
I think that's the goal in life, is to never want to retire because you love what you do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the goal.
Yes.
That
Agreed.
is amazing. So, and also, I think when people think of real estate, they just think of buying and selling houses. So, you shining a light on like what you do is really cool because not a lot of people know that. You know, like you said, like you drive past these properties and the big Neyer building on the highway and not knowing anything about it.
Yeah, and it's anytime you can give back to the area that you were born and raised, I think that adds significance.
So with that being said, would you have any advice for like either a younger generation or somebody that's in school? Did you go to school for what you're doing, or did you kind of just?
Well, my school of life has really been around real estate all my life, but I was a finance and accounting major up at Miami, which is, I often say I'm in the finance business that happens to be in real estate, because so much real estate is tied to the financial side of things, and I've also seen the importance that you got to both measure risk and manage risk, and you got to do both to be successful in any business. And this business is it's a high leverage, high debt, high risk business. And being an adrenaline junkie as I am in life, it really suits my personality pretty well.
Yeah, I feel like you nailed it on the head right there. As far as like anyone who's not willing to take risks but wants the reward, I feel like faces a challenge at one point in time, right? Because you can't have your cake and eat it too. And especially in today's society, or starting a business like yourselves. So when it comes down to the advice, if you could sit there and say, hey, this is what I did that maybe ran into some struggles, or maybe it set you back a couple of years just because you did one thing, and now that you have the knowledge, you could save somebody else those types of years, or going to school for a certain thing when you're like, hey, if I would have just done this differently. Is there anything that you would have done differently?
Yeah, my advice is always follow your passion, whatever it is, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in medical, whatever it is. If you follow your passion, you're going to win. You're going to be successful in whatever it is. So figure out what that passion is. Sometimes younger people today say, well, I want to find the perfect job right out of school. There is no such thing as a perfect job. You just have to get started. You'll figure out what your passion is, either early in life or later in life or somewhere in between. But if you follow that, you're going to be successful because you're going to put everything into it. Two, you're going to be happy. And what else? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and we talk about this a lot on the show, is we're very grateful to love what we do and love to where we work at. And I think it's amazing that you yourself, you're like you said, why would I retire? I love what I'm doing. And I just couldn't imagine being somewhere where I hated my job and hated my career, that I just had to get through another 9 to 5. I'm like, just follow that passion. Like, and some people, it could be, I'm 25, so I may still be, I think I have it figured out, but maybe there's something else.
You don't.
I don't have it figured out.
Yeah, you have some things figured out.
I have some things figured out, and so definitely finding that passion, I think, is huge. Finding what you really want to do.
It's all about the journey, and making mistakes is part of the journey.
Absolutely.
I've made a lot more than you two combined have over the years, because I'm not afraid to make mistakes. And people that are afraid to make mistakes never move forward in a lot of ways. And people that are afraid to face their fears, that it's hard to achieve what you want to achieve if you're afraid to face your fears.
I love that, because in order for you to get outside of your bubble, you have to broaden your horizon. You have to take on these fears of yours and just like go to the other side. You know what I mean? Like,
Speaking of that, my fiance, he's in, I wouldn't say a big career switch, but he went from a job, a 9 to 5, that, just getting up another day, just getting it, like just trying to make it to Friday every single week. And I was like, you're miserable. Like, you're miserable. You have to do something different. So he just applied for this job, and it's more about his passion and what he wants to do. And it's more like, I look at this job, I'm like, this is so suited for you. And so I'm like praying that he gets it, because I'm like, I think it's very hard to just do the grind 9 to 5 and not love what you do. And yeah.
did you ever do something that you didn't like to do?
Oh, I do things I don't like to do all the time. I mean, in a business, but it's all with an effort to get to a desired result.
Get to your goal.
Yeah, right.
Making mistakes. I think a lot of people, especially this younger generation, they don't know what a mistake is, right? They're afraid to even do anything. And I feel like getting out of their social environment, off of TikTok maybe, to just explore the world, be willing to travel, be willing to go outside of your norm, try new things. You're going to make mistakes. And I think, I don't even want to say it's like a parenting thing, but I feel like some of these kids are really afraid of like, well, what if I disappoint? The fear of disappointment comes into factor when just go all out on something, right? Just pick something that you're passionate about, drawing, even these people that do like motorsports or skateboarding or something like that.
Honestly, another one is video games.
The video games.
Because so my fiance's little brother, he's still in like high school, but he wants to get big into like editing and all that stuff. And there's like, and he's looking at this college that literally will help him. It's something through like a video game. And like, I know somebody who literally makes a living making the Fortnite characters, like the characters on there, and then like selling them. I'm like, it's crazy. So it really goes to show, follow your passion and do what you love.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so but I just wanted to highlight that it's okay to make mistakes, and
It's
that
okay to walk away.
and it's okay to walk away.
Yeah, it's preferred you make mistakes. As long as they're not catastrophic.
Not when you cost $1 million,
That's
but
right. But even if it costs $1 million, if you end up with at the end, it's
Yeah.
a long game.
Yeah.
A life lesson
Yeah.
is worth a lot more than honestly anything, because whether or not you're spending money you're going to spend money for education, right? You're either going to go to school, get educated, or you're going to spend money on your passion, going somewhere, end up bankrupt, and be like, well, hold on, at least I learned what to do next. Hit the reset button. You're still young enough.
I always say everything that you do, no matter if it's a job or not, everything you try is a resume builder. Like, something is always gonna teach you to learn new things or take a new job for more opportunities. Like, anything does. So I get what you're saying about mistakes, and Lord knows I make them here sometimes as the marketing manager. But I mean, you know what? How else do you learn?
Yeah, you learn what not to do and what to do.
Yeah.
What is a day in a life like for you?
Well, every day is a different day. I always tell people that the best day I can have is if I have about 8 meetings scheduled and somebody calls me up about a new idea, and I cancel every one of those damn meetings and I pursue a new concept, new idea. That's an exciting and thrilling day for me.
Oh, I love that.
Love
So-
that.
Yeah.
What would be a whole new concept
Well, I mean, torque.
that you would
Yeah.
like make in the future?
Yeah, I mean, that's really how Torque Motor Suites evolved, because it was like, I'll give you, as I was doing, and people say, well, how'd you know when you were building these it was going to be successful? What kind of market study did you do? What kind of focus group did you do? I said, I did nothing of that. I just knew, you got to knew. And if you give somebody what they want, even though they not even aware that it is available, it's going to work. And then I can back into the math and, mathematics, which is one of my strengths. I said, well, just look at it this way. For linear thinkers, I'd say, okay, if the MSA in Cincinnati is 2.3 million, the one percenters, that's 23,000 people, the one percenters. Okay, well, 10% of the one percenters is 2,300 people. We're talking about a few hundred units in Cincinnati for Torque Motor Suites. So it's an easy mathematical, but that's people that can look at it logically. I mean, your passion, your dream, if you think about things logically, your brain is overpowering your heart. If you let your heart overpower your brain, that's where passion comes in. That's where you're going to do whatever it takes to win and do it successful.
I love that.
That resonates.
We need to write that down. Okay,
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah. So obviously every day is different for you. I love the fact that you're willing to kind of be like, hey, I don't care what's on the books for me, but this new idea came and that I feel it and I'm going to go ahead and do this.
Everything's canceled. I have to tell you my idea.
That's right.
Love it.
Yeah.
Do you want to ask the famous question?
Yes, I would love to. So, real estate development, that's in your element. And finances, what is something that is out of your element? And this could be anything and everything. Like, I mean,
Mine's laundry.
mine's mowing the grass.
Yeah. Well, probably ballet dancing would be.
Ballet
Ballet
dancing.
dancing. Have you tried ballet dancing?
I have not,
Okay.
and I do not intend to.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not a fear thing. It's just reality.
You know what? I love that you answered that like that.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully nobody asks me this in one day, but
That's
it's
right.
ballet dance.
Ballet
So that
dance.
is, everybody listen, that's not going to be a new concept,
It
okay?
is.
Yeah.
It is not. Although we work with one of our developments is where we effectively donated most of the land where the Cincinnati Ballet is located.
Oh,
wow.
71.
Okay.
So to give you a little bit of history, we purchased the Baldwin campus through an auction. Actually, it was August 14th, 2000, August 28th, 2014. And it was the old Baldwin, to give you, the factory was built in 1921, where they built pianos, and during World War II, built airplane parts for the war and so forth. And I always loved that building. And then they added an office building in front of that, which is a 12-story building, which is now where Tri-Health
Yeah, I know
headquarters
exactly
located.
what you're talking about.
But in any case, it became available, and I was determined I was going to buy it at whatever it cost, because I was like, that building deserves to be protected, preserved, because it's such an iconic structure. So we bought it, and then I immediately walked through it, and I said, well, okay, we're going to, what was a manufacturing converted to what I would call bad 80s office design. I said, we're going to convert it into loft-style apartments. I don't know if you've been through the Baldwin, but it's 13 and a
I
half.
actually have not.
Yeah, it's clear story windows, 13 and a half foot. We ripped out all the ceilings, so we're exposing the large concrete columns and provide uplighting. But at any time you can, in this case, preserve and protect an iconic structure, because that's part of the very fabric of the city, the history of the city, and the significance. So that was profound. And then we obviously moved Tri-Health into the office building. There's 1,200 car parking garage, but we had some land that was left over, and the park had some land. And we said, well, what if we figure out how to square it up? And then we were talking to the ballet, and I said, you have to come to this location, because they were, as you know, right near where the FC Stadium is now. But what better place to have the Cincinnati Ballet on display, if you will, through the real estate. They can showcase their location for 140,000 people that drive by a ballet every day along I-71.
Like, walk me through real quick the business side of things of like, all right, so Neyer Properties, does your team go out and find properties to bid on or land to build on to build these properties, or what? Walk me through that whole thing.
There's a lot of sources for where the opportunities are. So sometimes they come to us, people bring them to us. Sometimes we find out in different, whether it's for sale or whether it's in foreclosure. So a lot of different opportunities, but I always believe that if you find a good location, you'll find the right use. So we're not necessarily looking for the right use, we're looking for the right location. Then we'll find the use and kind of evolve from there.
Has there been times when you're driving around and you just pull some U-turns?
Oh, all the time.
You're like, hold on a second.
Some
Yeah.
U-turn.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I need to whip it back around.
Sure. Yeah, and there might be a little sign or something very nondescript. I'm like, okay, I can figure out something here.
Yeah, I
I
want
love
to check
that.
this place out. I may or may not get out of my car and walk on and go underneath the fence real quick to try
That's right.
to peek in there.
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
That is amazing.
have
That is
you-
awesome.
Have you ever been here before at Element Eatery?
I have a few times for lunch.
Do you have a favorite place? What's your go-to?
I really like the variety. So
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
It's
Interchangeable.
it's very energetic and has a lot of vitality to it. So I think it's a great place.
Yeah.
Parking could be a little better.
Yeah, we're working on that.
We're working on parking.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
yes,
are
sir.
building a parking garage around the corner that will service some MedPlace employees, and
Yes.
then we'll be able to provide some parking across the street.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we are working on that.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for
you.
coming out here. This has been real. I greatly appreciate you stopping by, and I greatly appreciate the partnership that we were able to achieve.
Thank you very much for that. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So this has been In Your Element Podcast. I'm Randall Pink.
I'm Natalie Kaufman.
And I'm Dan Neyer.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dan.
Back up in my yellow. I get my grind on and my mind strong, I'm working. I clock in when the night's long, so much time gone, but it's worth it. I'm locked in, keep the lights on, got my mind on my purpose. It's working, I flourish, I earned it. Can't tell me I don't deserve it, yeah.